All right, so I may have done this video in the wrong order. Most of y'all have already stopped watching and you're going off right now to scream and holler at Jamie, and you're probably trying to encourage her to leave my sorry ass. So what I'm going to do today is something that I think will surprise Jamie, and I'm hoping to distract her from what I just done with those. So I do have my level, and I'll stick it on there just to make sure. I have to go get it though, but I need a drink first. Dr. Pepper. Someone call the doctor. Doctor, doctor. Oh yeah. That's Kool-Aid. Now I'm 4 or 5 miles from Longhorn Lester's, but I've passed this place 100 times. I've never seen all of these Longhorns out here. Look at this. Hey, have you heard about Tex? She's like, Tex, let me think, Tex. Oh, Tex, that's the one that, let me think, he popped that red ball and got all emotional, right? That's Tex you're talking about? Here goes, you know, Tex, that's the one that always fights with Billy. Oh boy, there's the bull, and there is their bull. Friends, thank God we're 4 or 5 miles away. Look at all these heifers, all these offspring. Here are some yearlings, which means these guys were born last year. Here's some born this year. Look how cute. That's a good looking bull. Guys, I think we may have found our next band camp. There we go. So you guys already know this, but there's a co-op amongst farmers and ranchers. It's nothing official. You don't have to sign up for it and pay a monthly membership fee or anything. But there's a co-op of men who have similar hobbies or interests. Hobby farming, for example, ranching. And my dad knows a lot of guys that he has always worked with as far as trading bulls, trading heifers, trying to always manage your bloodline. And so even though I've given you my word, I will never, ever, never, I will never get rid of Tex. I will have to bring in some females for Tex, and I also have to send my females off to a band camp on occasion. So depending on that particular bloodline, they look pretty good. They look pretty good. So it could very well be that at some point, once I get over here and we get kind of established, I'll go by and meet that guy, and I'll invite him over, and it could very well be that may be the beginning of our own little Longhorn co-op in this part of the county. Hey folks, Lester here. I'm over at Longhorn Lester's, and today I'm a man on a mission. I have a job to do, yet I've been told, don't you dare do it, Lester. And that was from Jamie. And so I know I'm going to have to deal with the wrath of all of you when I do this, but let me get a little bit closer, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, what I'm working with. And I have to do this, guys. It's something that has to be done. So Jamie's garden is looking real nice. I've made a couple of videos kind of with it in the background, my live last week, and then another video when I was working in the yard here. And both times, a lot of the comments were, Lester, those cucumbers are way too thick. Those cucumbers are way too thick, and they're not going to do well, you know, being so compacted together like that. And so I took that information and I showed it to Jamie. And man, she freaked out, and she says, don't you dare. I told her, I said, we got to thin out some of those cucumbers. We have to thin them out. And she goes, hey, what does that sign say? What does that sign say? I says, Jamie's garden. She goes, that's right. Do not touch those cucumbers. And I says, baby, it's just like at the house with all the ducks and the geese and the chickens. You get too many. And this is no knock on Jamie. It's actually a pretty neat quality for someone to have, but she just cannot stand to let them go. And so here I am today. at Longhorn Lester's, and I'm looking at her garden. I've done a little bit of yard work, and I keep looking at them. So I says, you know what? I'm going to ask the experts. I'm just going to ask the experts and see what they say. Guys, I'm sorry, but the verdict is in. And no matter what you're saying right now, and no matter how upset you're going to be with me, sometimes for the betterment of the whole, you have to do things like this. So I know Jamie's going to be upset. Guys, I already know she's going to be upset. But we have to thin these things out. So Jamie, I do love you, baby, but listen to me. It's kind of like it is with the chickens and the ducks and the geese. I know that you love them. You love every single one of them. And that's a really neat thing, a quality. It's a neat quality to have. But for the betterment of the whole, if you want them all to do well, we have to allow them room to grow. We have to allow them nutrients and the nutrition that they need. And so everyone that I've spoken to are saying, Lester, clean them out. I says, Jamie, everyone is saying to clean them out. And Jamie says, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, I've just done it. And I know you're going to be mad at me. I already know that because there's not a whole lot I can do when it comes to things. Now that, I think, is about half of them, which is what I was told to do. And so listen to me, folks. Right now, everybody who wants to be mean and wants to be angry, I'm going to direct you to 3 different people to be angry at. I'm going to direct you to 3 different people to be angry at. I'm going to put this into what I am slowly turning in to a compost pile. There. So it's not wasted. All right, so it's done. I'm not going to say a word to Jamie. And she doesn't watch my videos anyway, so she may never even know. Seriously, she may never even know. Unless one of y'all go off and tell her. And if you do, that's just wrong. If you do go off and tell her, that's just wrong. But listen to me. Anyone that knows gardening is probably saying right now, Lester, it was mean what you did, but it had to be done. It was mean what you did, but it had to be done. And that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for today. But what I'm going to do today is fix this little inside here. Now, what I have are a couple of things. I have a lot of concrete over there that I've been using to work on my ostrich and goat fencing going across the backside of the pasture. I also have some things that were left over from Mr. Dub and Miss Sharon. You know, they left all their trash here. However, you know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Look at all these old tiles. So what I'm going to do today is something that I think will surprise Jamie, and I'm hoping to distract her from what I just done with those cucumbers. I'm going to take some of those bags of concrete. I'm going to open them up and I'm going to pour them down into here. I reckon that it's going to probably take 12, every bag is 2 square feet. I'm going to say it's going to probably take about 10 or 12 bags of concrete, which I have plenty. I'm going to open them. I'm going to spread them down through here. I'm going to wet them down after I make it nice and smooth. And I'm going to put some of those tiles on top to make it really pretty. I don't want anyone to ever say that a four-wheeler is no more than a luxury item. Guys, this thing is a workhorse. Seriously, this is a workhorse. It's right. I need to make sure that my measurements are accurate. So I got these little tiles are 1 foot by 1 foot each. All right, from the back to the front of this thing, we are just under 7 foot. So that means we're going to have 7 tiles coming this way. 7 tiles, 6.5 foot, almost 6.7. So we don't have a way to cut these tiles. So what I'm going to do is leave 3.5 inches all the way down each side. Bring any goggles. Don't send any. Don't send any goggles. I did not bring any. So I'm going to have to improvise as far as goggles go. But all right, my eyes are fine. I'm already done. I'm already done and my eyes are fine. Sometimes, folks, you have to learn to work with what you got, okay? That looks good. Time for step 2, which is my weed barrier. I need a Dr. Pepper. There we go. So what you noticed right there was that I have to make sure that it's a little bit higher in the back and it slopes forward. That way when it rains or when we water the garden, we don't have a standing puddle there in the back. I want that water to flow out here to the front where there's grass. So I do have my level and I'll stick it on there just to make sure. I have to go get it though, but I need a drink first. Dr. Pepper. Someone call the doctor. Doctor, doctor. Oh yeah. That's Kool-Aid. All right, now remember, I don't want this to be level. I want this end to be higher. So we want it to be higher so that water runs off. And so as of right now, we're looking pretty good on this side. Let's see if it's the same thing over here. We want the, oh no, looky here, folks. We need more concrete. Whoops. Okay, we're looking good. I know the shadow makes it a little bit hard for you to see, but we're looking good with it being a little bit higher in the back. And so any kind of water will flow this direction over here. I had to change, my ideas changed a little bit while I was working. And instead of leaving a space around the outsides here, the edges, I'm gonna go ahead and space each tile where there'll be a little bit of space between each tile, if that makes any sense to you. Normally where they have grout, that's where I'm gonna have the cement. All right, so I'm going to need 42 pieces of tile. And some are already broke and chipped, so we don't want to have that create an issue for us later. So I'm going to sit down here and kind of dig through these. That in there has something. Oh, no. Okay, so there's things that are glued on here. I want to show you what my plan's going to be before I actually start laying them, or at least pasting them down. I have some horrible news. I did not realize that the tiles were not all the same. So those are in the back, or this color tile. And then the next box under those are a dark gray tile. And then, oh my gosh, what in the world is this? What is this? So my plans are going to change again. The cogs are still turning. But what I'm going to do is take and open all the tiles and lay them out the way I want them first. Take a picture, once I like it, and then go back and use that picture to put everything back where it's at once I wet the cement, which is going to be the holding agent to keep everything in place until it dries. That's what I've decided to do. After a whole lot of extensive trial and error type shapes, I finally decided on this one over here. Now remember, nothing is glued in yet. Nothing is glued down yet because I have to pull everything back up and level the concrete out one more time. And then I'll get on my hands and knees and start working them in one by one. I found some more stone right here that I might choose to work with. And right over here by the old rotten swing, I found some more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 more. This swing is no good, so don't even say, Lester, you can fix that. I can't. I can't fix rotten. All right, so it's very important that these stones set level. And you can see that we're not quite there yet. Need to go a little bit higher on this side. I know you can't see it. The naked eye, you can't see it, guys. But a level doesn't lie. That little bubble does not. All right, those are still dirty, so don't worry about that. I can always spray them off. But I'm kind of liking the way they're setting. I had a whole new change of plans. I just had a whole new change of plans. I can't handle the fact that these are thin and those are so thick. That's like, you're gonna stomp your toe on that. So I have another idea. I actually have 5 more of these. So I'm gonna put these 5 across the front. And then so it'll be like a row of the little, what do they call those? Those have a name, pebble, something pebbly, pebble, cobblestone. Oh, there's a white one. Ooh, oh. All right, this is the way it's gonna go. Not perfect, not at all perfect, but I'm gonna go ahead and start flattening down this cement. Get back in there on my hands and knees and make sure everything's setting flat against the ground so it can go ahead and begin to solidify and glue itself in, if you will. Yeah, right now I'm not done, guys. I'm just wetting the concrete. I have to get the concrete wet before I can get it to begin that chemical reaction that we need. And that chemical reaction is what's going to make it to where it gets nice and hard. And then I'll get back in there again and reset everything, making sure everything's nice and level with the ground. All right, just from the initial wetting down of the concrete, we can already see what we don't want to have happen. We have standing water over on this side. So I'm gonna go grab 2 more bags of concrete. I'm gonna leave these sides alone. Guys, we have several hours before this stuff begins to solidify, so I'm not worried about it getting stuck. What I do wanna worry about though, is I never wanna have standing water in here. All right, what I'm doing now is just taking all of this extra cement and I'm just kind of throwing it into the little spots where it looks like there's water standing, so we can kind of fill in all of the little hot spots, spots that could collect water. And just, we do not want that. I know you can't see from that perspective. Make sure everything's leveled up good. I'll work it in there. Just push it down into the concrete, where the concrete is right about flush with the tile. It's just like you would do if you had grout. All right, so what I've done is wetted everything down. I got by and I made sure everything was pressed down into the cement so it'll harden and stay in place. I tried to smooth down the edge over here so water can run off, yet Jamie can't stump her toe when she's walking onto her garden. In case you're wondering about the discoloration right there on all of the little rocks, don't worry, it's just a very fine bit of cement. It'll wash or brush right off, or blow. We could even use a blower and blow it off, but I want to wait till everything is dry and hardened. I do see a small crack right there that I don't like, but if I walk all the way over there, oh, heck with it. Oh, just heck with it. I'm not going to leave a job halfway undone. All right, we need to put some weight on this sucker here. All right, look at me. Look at that. I'm squeezing all the water up from under it. Yeah, in case you're wondering, I'm quite the mess here. So Jamie, in case you're still mad, I do have two things I want to say to you. Number one, you can blame Daniel, Jason, and Wes, because those three guys are the gardening experts, and they all said, Lester, you're gonna have to do it. And then number two is a song. When a man loves a woman, he doesn't mind getting himself pretty dirty. My hands and my nails encrusted with cement. Look at my pants and my boots. I have to drive home like this, but I don't care, 'cause I can't wait to see your smile. I hope you don't notice them cucumbers over in the compost pile. I'll stop now. All right, there you have it. I just finished the garden, and guess what? Look what I found sitting right there in the grass. 11 pieces of tile. Never been opened. Look, I've even mowed around them. And didn't even notice they were sitting there.